Hello, welcome. So today I will be reacting to a stream, well, not stream, but a special program about Snezhnaya from Genshin Impact. I am more familiar with the lore of Genshin Impact than I am with Honka Star Rail, so I wonder where they will gonna take this new region with Tsaritsa and all Fatui Harbingers. So yeah, I am quite excited. I got my drinks and my snacks. Well, no, I did not get my snacks, but okay. I think we should start without further ado, and let's start. Behind the scenes to the Snezhnaya and the future.
算太了解，
Yeah,
所以当时做了一期节目，
I hadn't
从创
watched
作
that
者的
one.
视角，跟大家分享了一些诺德卡莱的简单创作思路。
I see.
不过比起诺德卡莱，我觉得大家对于至东的了解就要多很多了。比如说，至东是冰的国度，语言中的大本营，
Fatui and
冒险家协会总部的所在地。
Adventurers Guild,
尤其是在
yeah, all
空
that.
月之歌版本的这一年中，相信旅行者已经充分感受到，提瓦特世界的局势目前可以说是暗流涌动。那相信大家对于未来下一个目的地至东的旅行也充满期待了。
I wouldn't
所以
be
同事们
playing
找我来录
Genshin,
这个
of
节目
course,
的时
but
候，
yeah, I am
我起初
excited.
是有点困惑的，感觉大家早就认识过至东了。就是说，比起前瞻特别节目，现在这里算是一个前
So
线
like
前瞻
a
的节目。
teaser, I see.
那关于至东这个期盼已久的新国家，我们还有哪些可以和大家聊一聊的话题？
至东这个国家，明面上是对我们过去承诺的这个提瓦特七国旅行的一个线性的延
Yeah,
伸。
true, actually.
但实际上呢，玩家的需求它并不是线性的，而是一直在升级，一直在渴望有新的、更有创意的设计。
Yeah, it is.
所以我们要做的其实是既要保持《原神》这个作品的一个亲切感和代入感，让旅行成为生活的一部分，又要
Yeah,
不断
I
的
don't
去
know
尝试
about
这种
that.
新鲜的、令人
Of course.
惊喜的体验方式，让这种旅行可以沉淀情绪持续的去具备意义。这个事情说起来很轻松啊，但实际做的过程当中还是有不少需要推敲的地方的。所以今天我们就可以聊一聊这里面的门道。
Ooh, is that the Zapolarny Palace? Zapolarny Kraj? Whatever it's called, I forgot. Ooh, this looks really hype. Is this a metro? This looks like a metro with trains and all that stuff. It looks great. There is an ice, big canyon, and cold getting up in the air. So my impression of Snezhnaya is a land of ice, probably the land of snow and I don't know, the somewhat the end of a journey, I guess. The Tsaritsa's land also, so the really powerful nation that infiltrated basically everything in the nations in the
早年的至东如果要给它
Hey,
提炼出一种轮廓的话，那多半是以一个比较邪恶、
Yeah, actually true.
威胁性很强的这样一个形象出场。然而6年过去了，旅行者们慢慢意识到，至东这个国家它有着自己对于命运的一个抗争路线。
Yeah, it is.
只是这个路线呢，在很多场合下，它体现出了一种对其他势力的排他性。甚至可以说在七国之中，至东是那个站在抗争命运最前线。
I wonder if they get obliterated because of that, like the gods did to Khaenri'ah, you know?
最主动也
We are going to witness the Khaenri'ah 2.0, actually. I don't think so, but there is a suspicion from my side.
最坚定的一个国家。
一个想要与天理和命运抗争的国。
To be honest, I am not sure that defy the fate is a really good thing, because often those who try to defy their fate often meet them in the way of them trying to avoid it. So if you avoid the fate, you will 100% get, and you will just accelerate or even this wish, this dream of defying the fate will lead you to your inevitable end. So this is why I don't really like because in a lot of myths, once there is like prophecy to king, like their youngest son will kill them, etc. They are trying to abandon them to other places, and inevitably this kid somehow gets back into the nation's ruling dynasty, and in the end really kills them in the worst possible way. This is why I don't think that this whole concept defy heavenly principles and fate is really helpful. It can be if the writers of Genshin Impact will try to spin it that way, but I won't be surprised here if everything will go so bad that everything will be destroyed due to that desire to defy the fate itself.
他肯定要具备与之匹配的实力，而至东确实是具备这样实力的。
I mean, they are infiltrated everywhere.
比如遍布提瓦特
They have technology. If you will see Notcry, they have
各国的愚人众组织，
finances,
大家见过的罗德卡莱的巨大研究设施，
all that stuff.
都彰显出至东强大的工业与科技实力。除了这些大家比较熟悉的内容，在至东本土还有着一个历史
Face, right?
悠久、实力强大
Yes, face.
而又神秘的种族——妖精。我们在罗德卡莱见过的伙伴菲林斯、利奈亚
I don't know how
都
it's
属于这
called.
一古老的种族，而他们的诞生最早可以追溯到古国亥珀波瑞亚。这个国家的诞生与毁灭，其实都和天理、天使、降临者有着千丝万缕的联系。
Yeah, we pretty much
他们之间
know
的
that.
故事，我们在以往的版本中是有过少量提及的，比如双月之子收藏的中北岛歌集，
I didn't read
也就是
the
被
book.
玩家们戏称为罗德卡莱的日月前世。而在至东上面提到的这些势力，他们之间的过去和未来，还会被进一步的揭示。
What do you mean?
大家都
And the ties between their pasts and futures will be explored in even greater depth. Is this an teaser for
大家都知道啊，
conflict
从
maybe?
1.0版本开始，至东就在为某个神秘的目的派遣愚人众的执行官前往各国去收集神之心。
I mean, does it really that, you know, that's strange or
去收集神之心。
会被进一步的揭示。
大家都知道啊，从1.0版本开始，至东就在为某个
it's not the mysterious agenda if the gnosis are the powers that of authorities over some domain. If it's obvious, if you have all of them, you will basically have authority over the domains that that their respectful gnosis represent. It's not really a
神秘的
mysterious agenda. It can be played, of course, like it's a corpse of a third descender, as the fan theorists tell, but ultimately it all comes to the desire of a power, more power that the heavens have, so they can actually do stuff they want. It is like this one quote, in a regular life the money talks, but when the violence speak, even money takes two step back. So
派遣愚
kind
人
of
众的
like that. So basically it's a race over the authority and power in order for you to do what you want.
执行官前往各国去收集神之心。那截止目前呢，除了火神之心以外至东已经收集到了其余的6枚神之心。并且比较有意思的一个点就是大家都知道，这其中有不少国家的神明各自出于一些理由，把自己的神之心
Yeah, it is strange, but I don't think it's really that strange, because you see, the power that you borrowed from something, and this something being gnosis, actually means that you want, how would I say it? You won't be able to develop your own power because someone who gave you this power can always take it back. So if you will rely on that stolen power for all of your being, it will go really badly for you. And higher authority is actually seducing because you have tools to basically do a lot of stuff, and in order for you to not go to that power, because the faster, the more you use this power, the more you're accustomed to it, the more you're addicted to this power. So basically, the only great way to get rid of something that can possibly harm you in future is just to destroy it or hide it or seal it away for some type of for some time, etc. All that. So it's not like really strange, like especially since I think the Archons actually do not need the Gnosises that much. They are already powerful individuals. After all, they fought in a war before they got the Gnosis, so they were already all powerful. Because a lot of gods actually died in this Archon war. So it's not like Gnosis did give some power, but ultimately speaking, it's not that big because, you know, they already have their own way, their ambition. They have their own ambition. I don't think that using outside source power will help you to make the dreams of you become reality.
一个很小的代价交给了至东的使节。那我们也看到社区里有很多旅行者非常积极的去讨论这些神明背后的考量啊。
To be honest, if I was the god, the Archon, I would probably try to breach the Gnosis' defenses so I can just make this power mine and maybe just extract all energy from the Gnosis that they provide, maybe hack into the whole system of elemental power so I can take all powers from the vision bearers, and then change it into energy and use that pure elemental energy for myself to cultivate basically my own power without influencing of any other thing, you know?
对于这些神明而言，就好像是让至东女皇拿到自己的神之心是一个对提瓦特更有利的选择。那这背后的原因呢，也会在至东这一年向大家讲述。
What do you mean about the whole better choice for Tevat as a whole? Are they referring to that what Skirk said about the Gnosis once the person leaving died, all the power and their bearings become curses?
提瓦特更有利的选择。
So it is an object of misfortune.
那这背后的原因呢？
I mean, if we take into consideration that the Abyss's possibilities that weren't chosen, it means that I wonder how they will spin it, because it can be spun into a lot of different. So, for example, if Geo, the Lord of Geo, the one who bears the Geo-gnosis or the animal gnosis, wouldn't be the gods that they are. Like, imagine Raiden got a Ventis gnosis. So it is another possibility, and this possibility can manifest into, and this is basically means that there will be infinite Archons, infinite gods that will be fighting you if Abyss will take over this whole place, because they can manifest the possibilities of other gods getting the Gnosis instead of them, and they will just be overwhelmed unless they don't have some broken concepts like absolute authority over death, life, etc. So I don't think anyone's safe for that, and I guess this is partially the reason why they gave them away, because, you know, let someone handle it so it wouldn't be you. And also I wonder, what if the Archons not got, like, they refuse to take power of Gnosis? Will they die? Will Heavenly Principle attack them?
至东这一年向大家讲述清楚。
原神有一个重要的设计原则，就是既需要有亲切感，又需要有奇幻感。比起1:1的还原某个现实的国家或者地区，我们会选择提炼来自不同背景，而且又彼此联系的各种文化要素。
It is true, but to be honest, this game honestly looks pretty pale. You know? Okay, so don't hate me on that. Well, actually, I don't care. You can hate me all you want. But I don't really prefer the Genshin Impact's way of doing things. I guess it is a game, like, it just too empty, you know. Of course, there are chests, different puzzles, etc., but it's still not really, you know, not feels like the world you're in. It just looks like some playable components that were put in the world, so people had something to do. I wonder what the reason behind it actually, and this is why, like, yes, it is consistent, but you know,
以一种
it just I don't really like how they do this stuff.
自洽的方式重新组合在一起。
大体上，至东是处于一个比较冷的、极寒的这种自然环境下的，它类似于现实生活当中的东欧，还有近北极
Okay,
圈地区。
Arctic Circle,
那这
Eastern
个地方的
Europe,
家园啊，其实是人们在
Yeah,
冰雪的
yeah.
夹缝当中
like the Chinese ice town that got in the winter. You know that Chinese spent a lot of money to build fully blown ice castles, and if it's often referred as the ice palace or whatever it is in Chinese cultivations. Like, I forgot what it was, how it's called, but in the Chinese cultivation novels, there is always the lightning clan, the poison clan, the ice clan, you know, the one who lives in the ice, and other ones, you know, the fire, etc. You know, Namgoon, all that, like, all that clans, all that different stuff, like. And this is probably also will highly influence their game, because after all, the Genshin Impact verse is a Chinese person, so, and they probably take inspirations not only from European and USA and all that west-ish, east-ish countries, but also inside them, because they already have some interesting concepts and things that they can use.
通过火焰和钢铁开辟出来的。因此，我们也化用了不少现实世界当中对应地区的这个文明特征。但是在此基础上呢，针对这些现实的人文痕迹，我们其实也做了很多提瓦特自己特有的奇幻的演绎。
I don't know if it will. I wonder if they will make it feel the Genshin Impact like.
比如说到这个雪国至东啊，
Snowland.
那旅
Okay.
行者可能就会想到一部经典的电影叫《雪国列车》。
I didn't watch Snowpiercer. I don't know. Maybe I should check it out. Okay, I'm pulling out my phone. Wait a second. Snowpiercer. Snowpiercer. Is it like the cyber? No, it's not that. Well, maybe. I don't know. It's just the initial picture that they gave me. Oh, it's post-apocalyptic. Oh, so it's like a frozen place? Yeah, it's just nuclear winter-esque post-apocalyptic movie. I see. Okay, so it's like this Metro and other games, hundreds of games and that.
地铁
That's not exactly unique, but
或者叫
I
Metro。
guess- Yeah, exactly.
那这就是一种冻土地区特有的工业和人文符号。那有没有一种可能啊，就是《原神》当中这个列车的车厢
Will you really try? You are exploring the really bizarre content from different elements. In Nathan, it was the bikers, gangs, etc. All that.
它
And
本
this
身
is
也
the
可以
trains and
也是一种人文
all that. The snowy mountains.
的呈现呢？比如
To be honest, I would probably prefer more playing into the cultivation, like the typical tropes of Chinese cultivation
比
novels.
方说，它可以拿来用作营
And
地，
not that bizarre, because
甚至拿来
I'd
去搭
really
一个
like
剧院，
to play
对吧？有点像
something
是
like
在
that.
废弃工坊里面搭设的那个北京的798， 也可能像是《生化危机》当中从博物馆改造来的这个警察局。那这种人文要素跟实际的用途之间的一种交错感，那在我们看来也会构成一种比较有意思的设计。
提到列车，在游戏中它通常被视为一种载具，但在如此大规模的地图里面，载具应当遵循怎样的运行规则？车厢内部的空间又能承载哪些玩法？或者说
Will you do, I don't know what you can do actually with trains. Build, I don't know, build inside the train. Like, I don't know, maybe they will just steal some stuff in metro. I think there are trains. Maybe you will have your own train. You will ride the Snezhnaya in order for you to transport through different places. Because if they put so much attention over the trains, I guess they will surely use that and force people to play using the trains. Because otherwise all their hard work will go away. And
它的定位可不可以不只是移动工具？这些都是我们在设计阶段需要反复讨论和探索的问题。在枫丹，我们曾设计过巡轨船。
So the mechanics of moving in a moving vehicle, yes. So something like the Create Aeronautics did. So you can have fully fledged bases inside of a physical object in a plane, in propellers, etc.
由于船体规模较小，运行在相对简单的轨道系统中，主要关注质心的稳定性和基础转向的移动即可。但像火车这样由多个车厢组成的复杂结构体，在几何结构和运动模拟上的处理就要复杂得多。在联机环境下，状态同步和角色交互的设计难度也会显著提升。同时，为了保证整体的真实感，不同轨道之间的调度策略、车辆与环境之间的交互，以及车厢内外
This looks fine, I guess.
之间的场景切换，都是需要系统性梳理和深入研究的课题。当然，对于以上这些问题，大家永远都可以相信原神的技术团队。
Will they steal from Honkai Star Rail? Because they do, it is about the train, the big one, this Astral Express. It outside it looks like a not really big train, but inside it has fully fleshed rooms, etc. I wonder if they will try to make something like that in the Genshin, since they already have the developed stuff that can be tweaked a little.
我们基本都已经解决的差不多了。
那不仅是风景啊，音乐其实也是大家非常关注的一部分。那至东的文化原型呢，就包含了有古典交响乐，其中还有承载了一些国家漫长抗争史的严肃音乐，以及还有一些广泛分布于斯拉夫各国的这个民乐。那在过去啊，Hoyo Mix 的小伙伴已经努力的给旅行者们重现过有巴洛克，还有古典主义的曲风。而在至东呢，旅行者或许还能够听到宏大深沉的现代主义，
introspective modernist composition.
还有一些奇幻如魔法般的浪漫主义作品。
I mean, they do have a good OSTs and music overall, so it was obvious that they will do something like that. So why would you? Like, it's not that important actually.
至东的玩法嘛，这个话题肯定基哥有更多可以讲的。我注意到了一件事，我们这些年对外的宣传都宣称自己是开放世界冒险游戏。
It is, but it falls under the biggest problems of open world games. It's empty.
但是
A lot of empty
实际上用
spaces. It's not like there is a lot of things that you can put at it, but it just feels kind of empty.
开放世界这4个字拿来定义原神，有点狭隘了。
Or if it's not empty, it's forced realness. You know, it's not that natural.
比如什么叫开放世界？地图做得大，角色跑得快，内容堆得多。
No, it is all of that actually. Yes, it is a massive map, not fast movement, and content to explore.
开放吗？我觉得这
I personally think about the open world games that its design is to mirror the real life stuff. So whatever you can imagine of doing in real life, you should. So basically, you need to get as much stuff you can do with some rocks, etc., as you can. For example, you see there is rocks in this place. These rocks they used to build this stuff and etc. And you probably could have, draw on them on this stuff, try to get soil from the ground up here and like break this rock and put soil in that and plant some seeds, like do the whole garden of yourself. The more the possibilities that you can interact with an environment, I think it is the open world game definition. So this is why I feel that most open world games are not exactly open world, because it's to be honest, it's not realistically possible to implement as much features of real world into a game unless you will take years of development. And the problem with open world games is that it's computationally limited because not all players have great PCs, and also you need to actually develop the stuff. So I don't think that the true open world games will exist unless we will create some advanced artificial intelligence AGI that can handle all that stuff.
这些都太过片面。
It's like a text RPGs, so you can do more stuff because it's just a text, so you can explain, etc., all that the stuff. So it's much easier because it's not requires a lot of computational power. This is why text RPGs can have a lot of stuff, a lot of different stuff. You can implement more mechanics from a real world, but then you have a problem with options that you can do, and in order for you to get all that options, the only thing that you can actually do is you need to create your own options, and the only thing that you do if you will get AI handle this stuff. So you write some stuff to AI, it will analyze it, and it will pull and play it off. This is how the characters AI and all that stuff works in the real life. So unless it's something like that, you cannot really expect anyone to do that correctly, you know.
原神的本质乐趣应该是不同维度的原子化玩法。
Yeah, the problem is that Genshin Impact do not have enough of these layers. So okay, let's imagine enough layers of Genshin Impact. So what I can do? So elemental system, interaction with environment. Well, not really, but you get me. The climbing on the mountains, so you can get some, I don't know, items up in the mountains or the flowers that grow on the side of mountains. Okay, it's okay. But it's all that so basic and it's not enough. You need to get more layers. You need to create the more layers that the game have for this point. Maybe make so you can break inside a mountain and make yourself a cave where you can put some furniture, some stuff, like survival games, you know. What this is more closer to open world than the most open world games because you can actually interact. So yeah, and if that's combined with gameplay of RPG, etc., all that, it can be like real open world
相互叠
experience.
加、相互作用的结果。在地图里率性的探索，和怪物战斗，了解 NPC 的故事，各种简单直观。
Yeah, it's simple. The problem with Genshin Impact that it's too simple, you know.
但是带入
And you can add more
感
simple
很强的
things.
体验，都可以根据旅行者的需要自由实现。我们觉得这才是原神玩法最有趣的地方。
要我用一个词来定义原神的玩法概念的话，我觉得应该是交互吧。
Yes, okay. I mean it is, but I wonder if they, hold back all the features that they can implement in order for game to constantly be updated, so it wouldn't because if you will put everything at once, then players will demand more from next updates, and if you are limited by your vision, etc., after all, you cannot implement everything that you can, and once you implement something that is worse than previous ones, it can spark hate, etc., all that gacha game hate about the anniversaries, all that, but on steroids.
我们用尽可能精简的交互行为足够明确的交互协议，去呈现了很多丰富有趣的交互反馈。有一个冷知识就是原神的元素反应以及各种移动模组的这个设计，是早在我们的策略对抗和数值规划之前
It looks like that, yes. It definitely feels like
就已经
that.
确立好的。 所以他们的初衷其实都是为了玩法交互去提供一些原子化的符合直觉的、容易理解的。
I do love the reaction systems like fire, water, etc. All that, but it feels like it's underbaked. It's not enough because. So the problem is that the gameplay of Genshin Impact and in most of the gacha games are toward along, and it plays on two sides. It is so if you will take a combat, otherwise of survival, you do not have a survival stuff. You cannot build your own camp anywhere in the world. You cannot like carve a cave inside a mountain to live in that cave and do whatever you want. You cannot do that, and I personally think that it's not really open game, open world. Like, I don't feel the open world. It just seems like a game with the things that you can do on the content, and because of that it looks cheap. Of course it's not, but the feeling of it looks cheap. So the true open world games is something like Minecraft probably, or any other sandbox game, because you can do a lot of stuff, like discover some secret mechanics, etc. All of that. And it's okay, but also there is one problem with the game combat, etc. The interaction between NPCs, etc. It looks scripted. It's not look natural. The lack of animations. Also, you cannot interact with the environment, like to change, for example, movements of enemies. Like so, you will burn the fire, and the enemies that you see will avoid this fire. That they won't stand on it and try to avoid it and try to go away, like the animals from Minecraft and zombies, etc. All that from blocks, something like that. I hope you understand me.
这个协议框架，就比如说，我手上有个火元素，我拿去碰一下水元素，是不是会冒烟？拿去碰一下草元素，是不是会烧起来？前面有座山，这个山看上去呢不算高，那是不是可以爬上去？
Yes, it is great, but I also wanted to, to be able to do something about the mountain, like in sandbox survival games, like build some house inside of
爬上去之后呢，山上有个鸟窝鸟窝
that will be correctly rendered in the world in co-op, so you can
窝里
show
能
off.
掏出几个禽蛋，那这些蛋是不是可以拿来做菜？旅行者其实是在诸如此类的这种尝试和验证当中不断的去积累一种简单的快乐。
Yeah, it is true, but it's still not enough. It's not enough. It's okay as an initial stuff, but in order for you to, I don't know, I don't think that this game will realistically survive for another 10 years unless they will implement more and more things. Maybe this is why they are stalling. They do not put all the great quality of life features, etc. Maybe they're waiting for the competition to make a move, to make a better version of the game, so they can just take mechanics, etc. so they can enrich their own game, You can do that also, and other things. But I don't know
然后
how to
呢，
explain
潜移
it.
默化的去理解这个游戏后续的玩法当中需要用到的知识。我们在前期
The thing is that if you are doing this all manually, it's not enough, because the life is complex in many ways. So, and the thoughts of a person is often limited via their own worldview. So, in order for this work, you need to have hundreds, thousands of people getting different places, like so if you can climb the mountain, you can go to the bird's nest, like all that. You need 1,000 people that will get unique ideas. Maybe designs from other studios, like great games, etc. Something like that. You cannot do it inside of your own stuff, because unavoidably you will be limited by your own experiences and thoughts.
其实花了有1年多的时间努力的让这种根源性质的乐趣尽可能广泛的分布到这个游戏的各个内容模块上，让它去贯穿有生态、人文、战斗和探索这几个领域。原神的世界在玩法层面的这种立体感和鲜活感，其实是建立在这些比较细腻乃至于很琐碎的这种
I wouldn't explain that climbing a mountain, getting a neck from a mountain and cooking the egg into a food is a trivial moment of fun. It's not that it just it's cool that you can do it, but it does not feel like it is a great detail, but it's basic detail, you know. There is layers to that stuff. There is a competition to that stuff. So the harder for you to get to detail, to solve the detail, the harder. If the detail is hard to see and it needs you to do actual effort to see some detail of a game, I think it is the truly moment of fun, because you thought of things that not all people could have thought of. And you understood that developers actually implemented this thing that you thought that not many people will ever think of.
小乐趣
Something
上面
like that.
原子化玩法其实是一种不可再生资源，就是所谓的做一块少一块。
That's not true. I mean, it's true if you were talking about full initiative, like the 2-3 peoples and all of that. But you can go to feedback of players. You can read comments. You can do all that stuff to get more ideas from people. You always have pieces to discover. It just takes that you need another human being to do that.
那到了第6年，设计上可以突破的空间也就越来越小。
It's not limited, honestly. It's not limited, especially you can do something like big, like interaction with environment, like change some movements of an NPCs, of enemies, all that. You can do that.
对于我们概念设计能力的要求也就越来越高了。
Yeah, they will
举个
do.
例子，比如说冰元素，我们可以赋予它封存的概念。
Okay, preservation.
那如果它封存了能量，它就可以看作是某种电池。
Okay, if it preserves energy, it can, yes, indeed be. And it also can be absolutely empty, because if it preserves something and you do not have anything preserved, just a void. You can
那
also
它封
spin
存
it like
了
that.
记忆，那就可以看作某种信息存储和在线的介质。当然，策划的脑洞肯定比我
Yes,
说的
it
还要夸
is.
张。
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. It is a
比如说
conceptual stuff, but the problem is that not all of that stuff will be implemented in a regular game. It will probably be implemented in a text, in a story, maybe, like the plot of the stuff, like, will be around, like, batteries, like you can get batteries from highly energized elemental energy ice blocks and use it to charge your train, maybe like that. You can do that, of course, but
比如说万一冰元素
still away some kind of ancient forbidden power of concept. Yes, it is also interesting. It's still the idea of preservation, actually. It's still the idea of storing memories, etc. Especially since the forbidden knowledge is a thing. It is a cool thing if they will implement this stuff, you know, that seals away some kind of ancient forbidden power
禁忌的力量
concept.
或者概念啊，然后把它藏了起来。那旅行者可以借用某些手段呢，激活这些力量。
It reminds me of, I don't know in what medium it was, but the shadow ice. I remember the picture of ice once. It's the different spin on ice. It's the dark shadow realm stuff. The dark shadow stuff that can give you insanely bad burns. It's like violet ice, maybe, etc. All that. Okay, so what they're saying that they tap into those sealed forces, unless it's wide enough and far enough, I won't personally think that it's enough. Maybe for a regular casual person it will be enough. Okay, I get it. But for me, I will have fun at first, of course, but after a week of seeing the same features, all excitement will go away, because you already seen that, so you won't appreciate the details. So you need to have I don't know how it's explained. It's a really hard thing to do, but and it's not possible to do, but yeah, this is
或者
like
概念来获得
my thoughts.
一些收益。
They will probably like make I don't know, the ice influencing your power, like the train instead of moving forward will got to go backwards because you used inverted ice, etc. Something like that, something basic. But I want to have like at least 4 or 3 things that you can do with that ice, apart from, and it is the big things, like 5 big things that you can do with ancient stuff in the ice, and 10 other small details that you can do, you know. This is what I want. So one mechanic will be, you know, used in different aspects to make truly interconnected, like a biosphere, the great feeling of that is from Rain World, about when you play as a slime cat or whatever it is. It is a great because it's a simulation of an environment, like you can be killed, you can find your way to adapt to a certain stuff, etc. All that.
这个好像说的有点多了。用策划的专业术语来说，就是预期大家能够通过相似的交互协议，让统一的交互行为呈现更丰富的结果。
在过去的旅途当中，
You
互协议，让统一的交互行为。
You see, the problem is that you need to not make a unified set of mechanics, a unified set of concept that you will build mechanics upon. You need more mechanics. You not need less of them that can be applied in different stuff. You need actually, it's something in the middle. You need to have a lot of mechanics, and you need to have a lot of stuff you can implement these mechanics on. Not only like small mechanics of some concept and use it everywhere, you know? Put it in like a lot of stuff. This is a fine line. I don't think every person will understand me because I am talking riddles and English is not my first language actually. So yeah, it's quite hard for me to explain. I hope you at least got my feelings or what I'm talking about.
更丰富的结果。
在过去的旅途当中啊，大家遇到的大部分的敌人其实都是那种各自为战的，
Yeah, exactly.
他们之间呢也没有太多配合。那至东的愚人众既然在
The thing is that this is great actually. This is improving, but the problem is that I would have wanted this already be implemented. I guess later is better than never, but still, you need to have more than that. I hope they are cooking. They will like do a lot of stuff in Snezhnaya that will overhaul the whole game. But I'm highly doubting that they will do something substantially different or substantially unique because of their plans of doing this game for long term, you know. So they will probably just get a lot of features that seems like a lot, and they will stretch it to 5 or 10 years, which will make each one small feature or mechanic feels not really great, because one mechanic in a year is not really good, or like 2 or 3 mechanics in a year not already good by experience, because you will get bored of them faster if you will get all of the features. So it's just a business trap, you know, it's capitalism traps. You cannot
它是一
avoid
个
this
高
stuff.
度组织化、军事化的一个。
I guess they already did have that information. They already thought of that about on the concept design, but it's because that it is game a live service. They need to provide, you know, they need to provide updates, all that, and this is why they are giving this stuff only now and not earlier, which sucks. I don't particularly fan of live service system, live servers whole stuff, because it's not it gives a lot of problems to the development, to the experience of players.
那么它应该在战斗当中呢，也应该是有分工配合、互相掩护的。所以在至东版本，我们也尝试让敌人的行为更加的有组织纪律了。一方面呢，去增加一些生动性；另外一方面呢，也能提供一些有趣的对抗策略。
利用元素反应或者利用单个元素的特性，是原神一直以来非常重要的玩法。在至东的战斗中，大家也可以进一步的利用冰这个元素，让它不只能够触发元素反应，还能够破坏、碎裂，甚至改变战场。
Okay, great, but will the difference be sustainable, like substantial, the big difference? Like, can you like eliminate the whole mountain. Because if you can just brush off the one layer of snow, it's useless. It won't. It's cool that you implemented it, but it won't feel grand. It won't feel new. It won't feel that great, you know. So so reshape battlefield defense, so the enemy
影响
movements,
敌人的行
yes,
动路
it will
线。
be influenced.
这意味着战
But it's a drop in the sea, you know. It's just a drop. It not substantial. It's not big, you know.
斗不只发生在怪物和角色之间，而是发生在怪物、角色以及整个环境之间。
至东的很多玩法设计啊，会围绕着超越规则。
Surpassing the rules, freeze those rules and just break them as the ice, or melt the rules and turn them into water. Freeze the concept and use it as a battery that you can siphon power from. I
主
don't
题
know,
来做。
anything
那
like
这个
that.
主题一方面指的是原神本身啊，比如说一些元素反应会在这个版本有全新的演绎啊，他们甚至在至东地区的探索和剧情当中都起到了重要的作用。另一方面呢，也是指我们团队正在探索和超越现在这个原神的可能性啊，就比如说旅行者他作为降临者啊，他可以在一个特殊的区域里
Noted.
体验到一套和原
This looks like a Fatui. Did we join Fatui? Actually, is this in Sumeru? It looks like an Akasha terminal, or just the Snezhnaya stole the technology from Sumeru and use it for their own.
原神原本截然不同的新玩法。那大家可以尽情的想象啊，只有降临者能够
I don't know.
做到的事，可能会比当初大家见到在枫丹的那种
Surprising the underwater exploration. It may be surprising, but it
水下体验
may not be big and sensational and really cool. You know, it can still be bland.
还要更加意外吧。
I have really low expectation of Genshin Impact. I got to 45 rank, 45 level, so and I just stopped playing this game because it's boring. Just the gameplay is boring. I mean, it's great if you have a great team, etc., like rotations, teams, all that's cool, but the open world of Genshin Impact feels empty and not really good. I think they improved that for a lot in different aspects of it, like characters, unique skills, etc., all of that. But it's paywalled, so it's not applicable to this point. For me, actually, gameplay is tiring of Genshin Impact. It's basic. It's really basic, and this is why I only watch story quests, etc., all of that, and I do not play the game itself because I find it tiring process.
我们上线已经是2020年的事情了。
6
那
years
时至
ago.
今日啊，可能在很多玩家的眼里啊，原神
By the way, guys, I played from the start, from the pre-register. So I played a lot of Genshin at the first. It did not really excite me. I understood pretty much what this game is after a week of playing. And once I hit 45th rank, once you get, I think you will get golden artifacts from that point on, guaranteed from the bosses, not from the bosses, but from the dungeons. And I just skip because it's just an RNG based shit that I'm not interested gambling for.
已经是一个老游戏了。那玩游戏一定要赶时髦嘛，要玩最新的嘛，这是人之常情。所以我们在创作更多内容的同时，也会关注如今的玩家喜欢什么东西，就让大家感知到原神其实是在与时俱进的。那早些年呢，我们通过一些简单的天赋设计来反映了角色自身的身份、职业和性格特点。
This is a great step.
到了
Actually,
罗德卡
it's
莱这一
correct
年
direction.
我们让角色们和世界有了更多的这种生态啊、人文性质的互动。而接下来呢，在至东这个版本，我们就会去尝试，让一个角色的身份特色在游戏里得到更多的体现。就比如说啊，如果说有一个角色他的职业是，比方说歌手，
I wonder if they will make you are singing like the player is a musician, and the people will throw the money at you once you play the game. I played Ellen, so you can do a lot in that game actually. So this is like
那在原神里面，我们不仅能够观
the
赏到
thing in that you need to, if you sing, you will be stoned to death actually if you sing bad. But if you do, you can get money by
一个
that.
歌手的演出体验到这个歌手他华丽的技能表现甚至是不是可以通过某种
I wonder if they will make something like a Skyrim, like you can shoot into the birds, like etc. They already have that such thing, but I wonder if they will make like that amount of details. Like you can interact with stuff on the tables, etc. All that, because it's also not requirements, but it will also make the open world game feel like open world game.
可以游玩的方式在游戏内听到他哼唱各种动听的歌曲呢？
我们看到很多玩家非常在意原神的画面和渲染效果的提升，得益于这些年大家设备的升级换代。未来我们会在新角色身上做重大的视觉升级，在保留原神原有的风格的前提下。
I mean, it's kind of big difference if we will look at the, I guess, the rendered first Snezhnaya Zapolarny Palace thingy. Where it is? This. Wait, where is it? Okay, well, wait. Yeah, like this. If you will to, it looks great. It looks good, but of course it's not a final product. It will probably be better from now. I do like this. This is a step in a great. It does feel like a Genshin Impact, and it really does. And I already see some improvements into the landscape design, you know, of that game. But I don't think that there will be, you know, feelings inside of this places of a map. I highly doubt that. This is like one of my concerns.
届时大家会有非常明显的视觉感官优化。我们做内部测试的时候，有同学就惊呼：“哇，这把我干哪了？这还是原神吗？”但是话又说回来，作为一款卡通渲染风格的游戏，许多光影效果和纹理细节都是我们美术同学手动调节甚至手动绘制完成的。
Okay, this is actually a great point. They are doing it by hand. This is why they have big limitations on their power, on their development power, because you cannot, like, it will be really, really hard. It will take a lot of years for you to hand paint every environment, to give any stuff, etc. All that. I understand that, but I don't know. It just
如果盲目向写实风格的游戏作品看齐，贸然的堆细节加精度，会导致游戏画面显得杂乱，失去视觉焦点，也不够温暖和梦幻，破坏沉浸感。而且贸然大幅升级，往往意味着放弃低端乃至中端配置的玩家，其实是不合理的。毕竟我们不能为了一厢情愿的技术追求，不顾大多数玩家的游戏体验。
原神以往的演出和玩法，它大体上都是分开的。那大家只能体验到演出有进步，却很难去玩到这个生动的玩法。所以这几年我们一直致力于让游玩和演出的部分融合到一块儿。就比如说5.3版本的这个古斯托特的 BOSS 战还有月之4版本的这个博士的剧情战，对吧？还有月之5版本的这个法尔加的地脉战等等。
And I personally wouldn't really eat all that gameplay like that. The Notcry was a really big leap into quality of a game, into quality of mechanics, into quality of a story quest, etc. All that. It felt more like a unified endgame. I really enjoyed, and I considered to return to Genshin actually once I saw the Notcry, all that Notcry stuff. But after some thought, I got quickly discouraged by understanding that this probably they already did all that stuff and they already knew about all that unified stuff, but they did not want to get it right away, so the difference will feel insane. Like if you will make a really small, dial back your steps and make a big leap, the big leap will feel much more important if you gave not a lot of features to the. If so, imagine this: you update the game with small features, and you are doing it deliberately in order for players to get accustomed to small updates. And once you get a big update in cooking and you release that update, it will get a lot of people like, wow, it's so big, it's not like previous updates, like the completely different breed, etc. So I think they're just stalling. I don't like that in Genshin. They are stalling so much. They are stalling the progress of their games so much, and I'm not planning to paying them. I do really wanted to make the game evolution, but I think the business is cruel, and I do not actually believe in Genshin Impact, to be honest. Especially after I saw the Not Cry update, I just got more discouraged to play the game because they probably got this stuff cooked before all that time. I mean, of course, it may not be the truth, but it is what I think of this situation with Genshin Impact. So yeah.
等等。那在至东的这一年啊，我们会让更多的游戏内容尽可能的就具备上述这几场战。
Of course you will. Once you get people that stuff and do not do same thing in the future, you will get hate. Of course you will. You force yourself to. So once you have a limit and you set yourself a new limit, everyone will expect at least something better or on the same level.
都这种演出般的效果。不仅如此啊
Of course you will. Why would you say that? It's obvious. It's the thing that's natural.
我们还会统一一部分 NPC。
I don't like standardizing. You should probably make some groups of NPC do different stuff. For me, standardizing sounds like they will like bring some type of enemy for one type of behaviors, second to the other type of behavior and all that. So without intricate details of each person, like Monster Hunter did. They have different animals, like dragons, like dinosaurs, whatever it is, birds, whatever and they all have their unique behaviors, their unique stuff. This is great, but I don't think they will be doing that. I do not have
怪物的
belief
行
in
为
Genshin Impact at
举
all.
例来讲比如说有些他巡逻的卫兵会加入一些突发的战斗，那有一些被击败的敌人呢，他也有可能解锁隐藏的剧情。在至东旅行者还会获得一种妙妙工具不同于过去这种比较单一的小道。
What was that? That's a phone.
旅行者还会获得一种妙妙工具不同于过去这种比较单一的小道具功能这个工具会赋予旅行者去改造我们环境的能力。
Is reshaping, by reshaping they mean that they just melt snow by putting this one crystal inside of the ice stuff. It will just make the environment less snowy. If that's the level they will go, I don't like that. It's too small. It's not sustainable. It's not a big difference at all. I mean, I have a really low expectation of Genshin Impact. I am already disappointed in that game, so yeah, I don't care at this point.
甚至可以跟其他的旅行者去通过某些方式共享这种改造的效果，就让大家能够按照自己的想法去体验和优化原神的世界。原神的未来不对，这期我是不是看过？去年我是不是也在这个问题上想了一下，感觉有点诡异。说回正题就是
They will come. So here's the future of Genshin Impact. They will continue to stall content, to stall quality of life features, so each update that have those will feel substantial and really, really big, so they can manipulate the players' expectance, etc. They want to try to get some story on the highest level, to get all the features in one big patch, and try to to get better each update. They will probably stall it for a long time, stretching just enough so player won't leave, so they can feed them another type of content and all of that. So if they will do that, I think realistically you should start game as later as you possibly can. Why? Of course you will lose some limited skins, some limited characters, even maybe like some Miliastra limited skins, etc. all that, but it doesn't really matter because the further in future you start the game, the more content you have to explore, so the game won't feel empty because they will. So it's like the late game, it's like a long-term project. So if you want to start playing Genshin Impact with at its greatest point, you should start as late as you possibly can. After like the last updates, etc., once they move on to another game, you should probably start playing this game because they do not have the really big co-op, so you wouldn't need players to actually participate in all parts of content, you know. So you can play truly single player once it's game on its ending update. This is the best time to play because they will implement all the features and you can get and have your own opinion overall game and not the stalling that they did throughout their whole history.
很多人会觉得就是
like getting militarized, like cooperative over military NPCs and joining NPCs in the battles with the monsters after 6 years is diabolical. It's too long. They lost me on that one. So, and they continue losing me on that because they implemented it they could have implemented this so long ago, and it would have make expectations of a game or the experience of a game much better, but they of course will be
玩原神
just continue stalling this game.
我就是为了看到至东完结啊，但是完结这个词其实我就是为了看到至东完结啊。
Yeah, I am simply here to witness
但
conclusion.
是完结这个词其实很伤感。
No, not really. I just like the story. I wonder how they like implemented some details because the details is insane amount of details in the content. Of course, it's probably not in the texts, in the books, etc. I think it's not exactly like that because the people will imagine these things and developers can just take the theories that people got and put it into game like Scott did with Five Nights at Freddy's. Once he saw a lot of theories about the Fazbear pizzeria, all that stuff, he just got the ideas from the community and implemented it as a canon because nobody can like guess, was it like intentional from the start or was it just stealing from the players' theories, you know? And it have all advantages because the players who thought of that theory first, yes, I am so smart, I guessed the author's developer's vision from the start, etc. So it does not really like give that. So it's kinda a win-win situation, but the underlying meaning of that is not exactly
它意味着
that
就是
great.
读者对于作者迄今为止的作品的认可，但是呢，它同时又封印了这个作品未来一切的可能。
No, it's not. I mean, it kinda is, but no, it's not. It's not seals away the future possibilities of all the work. Well, it kinda does, but you just stall. You already know all your problems. You already probably have these solutions you already developed that already ready to be baked into the game. You're just doing and waiting deliberately just enough so people get accustomed to bad updates and then give something good like they did with Not Cry. This is just, I don't know. I don't like this.
我们都知道伟大的故事女巫，对吧？野猪公主的作者，希莫兰卡的缔造者，小杜林的母亲魔女 M， 对吧？安德斯多特女士，她曾经在剧情里说过一句话，叫做每个故事最大的遗憾，便是要有一个结局。那对于我，或者说对于我们团队以及很多旅行者而言，我觉得《原神》它已经不是一个故事了， 就原神它其实是生活的一部分，
which is bad
那至少
actually.
我是没有办法想象说这部分生活从我的
It's
世界当中被剥离开。
it's bad because this game basically accustomed people to shitty updates, not big, not substantial. They accustomed people to deliberately stalling the progress of a game in order for you to get more money, like all live service games does.
大家可以放心啊，就我们既不会去强行的给这个故事画上一个莫名其妙的句号，也不会说为了一个很功利的理由啊，强行给它
This
一
has
个
told me about
给这个
everything
篇
I
章
wanted to know. So they will continue to stall the progress of a game, but
去续命。我们觉得旅途是有它的意义，给这个
more
篇章
extended
去
purely
续命
for。commercial. That's a lie. This is exactly why they did so. They extended all the features purely for commercial reasons. And they will probably try to show and accelerate the updates of a game to show that they really did not do that, but it was all planned all along. They will now probably accelerate the updates, they will make more features into each update, etc. So they made that statement true in most people minds. But the bad truth is, maybe it's not true at all, and it's just I don't have the positive really outlook on that stuff. They just trying to give the feeling that everything will get better, and this behavior of players is fully designed. I personally think so.
我们觉得旅途是有它的意义。
You can say that, of course, but ultimately you did not, well, the most of the things that you've done were probably only for commercial reasons. It wasn't for the journey. Maybe some people, like, initial idea of a game was built from passion, but the updates and the rate of the updates that you do is actually not
那过去是，
journey,
现在
not
是，
meaning.
未来也是。那作为一个产品呢，其实进化同样也是永恒的课题。那为了进化，这几年其实我们一直在积极的去和来自世界各地的游戏设计一线的很多前辈们去交流。
Great,
我们
you
就发
should
现
do
所
that.
有的经
Absolutely.
典的游戏作品啊，大家其实都有。
But you should get all that information and put it into the updates. Well, okay, you can stall it, but you should install it just enough so players won't really quit the game. Because they are stalling it too much. You can stall a game, okay, that's fine, due to commercial reasons, of course, but you shouldn't do that long. Like the implementing militarized the environment stuff into the game after 6 years is crazy. This is insane. This is pure insanity. You should have implemented it in the 3rd year of a game. But you stole it just enough so players won't quit. You know, like, I don't understand that. I
类
don't
似的
like
困
that.
难。
I don't
但遇到困
favor
难的时候呢，
their business model. It does bring a ton of money, but I don't like how it works.
解决的方案也都是事必躬亲。比如说《最终幻想七》重制版，那它的故事内容非常的丰富，所以团队花了非常大的力气，让每一部作品入坑的玩家都可以很快速的理解剧情，能够上手。死亡搁浅2》它的地图比较错综复杂，那其实是小岛秀夫先生他自己一遍一遍的跑自己的游戏地图。
You cannot. Why would? Okay, yeah, sure, buddy. They are different games. They are better than the Genshin Impact. Because Death Stranding, or is it called Death
那
Stranding?
其
I
实
forgot.
是
This
小岛
Hideo
秀
Kojima
夫先
walking
生他自己
simulator.
一遍一遍的跑自己的游戏地图，然后呢，让团队逐个的去把这些地图调整至车辆可行，最终实现了一个玩家用。
Yeah, but they got all that stuff in one go. Well, most of the features and like I don't think they made it live service game. It was like a game with some updates, the big DLCs to the Death Stranding, and then they moved to the second game in a series. They didn't do it live service. So yeah, I don't particularly like that stuff. Let's continue.
载具的时候，在任何一个地形都可以畅通无阻的行驶的这样一种自然的体验。那有的前辈呢，他为了多平台性能的考量，放弃了使用内存负担非常大的这种商用的扫描素材，就带着自己的团队纯手工去调整很多写实风格的雪山和溪流。
So why didn't you do that when the Death Stranding and Hideo Kojima games released? Why would you? I mean, of course you can like get an argument that it requires power over people, you need to develop, it takes a long... I understand that, but, you know? Too long. It was too long.
那诸如此类的一些例子啊，就是当我们知道在产品进化的这个道路上，我们跟世界顶尖团队的这个路径，其实比较类似的。
Yeah, the ones who want to extract as much money as possible from players and try to get less content and quality of a game for bigger prices. Great. You are so cool for doing that.
就突然变得比较有信心了。
Yes, so that you will have a lot of money, not that the game will be great, that it will grow in people behavior that they won't eat shit updates. You're just making people more accustomed to that stuff, you know? This is I don't know what to say.
而从至东开始，原神的进化要开始加。
Yeah, of course you would do, so that the arguments of people who tell that they are deliberately stalling the game wouldn't hold true in the eyes of the most players. Of course you will do that. Manipulate masses. Of course you will do that. It is one of the obvious decisions that you can make in order for you to manipulate people into getting accustomed to a long stalling process of an updates.
这种加速会在未来某些节点兑现，并且如《原神》提瓦特篇上线时一样，我们为这个行业带来了一些重要的想法参考和思路改变。我们有能力在2020年给这个世界带来惊喜。那么在5年后
，Yeah, of course, because you will continue to, after you will have a big update like Snezhnaya or Notgray, you will get like 2 or 5 years of a shitty updates without a lot of quality of life features, and then get a big update with fleshed out stuff, like fleshed out combat, fleshed out environment, all that stuff. Of course you will continue, because you made people accustomed to shitty stuff after they felt the peak. Of course you will do that.
10年后、20年后，我们仍然有这个能力做到。我们始终相信，一个真正打动人的作品，从来不是靠一时的
Yeah, of course. It's not.
风潮。
But you do not... Okay, I don't know.
原神能走到今天，靠的是一群人日复一日的坚持与创新，和千万能走到今天，靠的是一群人日复一日的坚持与创新，和千万旅行者们一路走来的陪伴。IP 之所以能成为 IP， 靠的是高品质的内容设计。
Yeah, but your content not high quality. You just it's not high quality game content. Well, it become better, of course. You are just doing a lot of real life stuff. It's not the game. If you would have put all efforts and stuff that you do into the life, into the real world content, like all that stuff into the game would have been much better. But of course you won't do that. You will
与长时间的持续产出。在至东，我们将继续秉承这样的理念，把更多激动人心的想象，变成玩家可见、可玩、可感的全新体验。
I guess it is the date of Snezhnaya update, or maybe not Snezhnaya update, but a stream for Snezhnaya update. Is that all? Yeah, it is all. So, yeah. So this stream told me as much as I wanted to know. The game will not change. It will continue to do turtle steps, snail steps, low quality stuff, and they will continue to stall the progress of a game, put into live content, and continue get people accustomed to a bad updates so they can monetize for a longer periods of time. I am disappointed. I of course I knew that this would happen. It is the obvious thing because Hoyoverse is corporations, and I am not sure if it's open or not open, but it doesn't matter, really matter. It will continue to do all that stuff, especially since, if you remember, there was a scandal on the Genshin about the person who gives money, that investor, the business guy over against back, and this is why like players got not as much scrolls to pull characters from. This is why there are not many currency in order for you to get the characters that you want. It's all predatory game, and they will continue to do that. So yeah, I guess do what you want. I will continue watching story of Genshin Impact. I do love the story, but I won't play into that game. I don't like their philosophy. I don't like how they are doing their stuff. I don't like how the Genshin Impact part of the game particularly do with their company. So yeah, I don't know what you want to get from that video. I've stretched this 20 minutes video into 1 hour and 16 minutes, and I can yap a lot for about this topic, but I probably won't do that. So yeah, if you enjoyed this reaction, you can leave a like, maybe subscribe, maybe share your own opinion on the Genshin Impact as a game of a whole, and well, see you next time. Goodbye, have a good day.